Oh, again, it's frozen. Oh, gosh. Oh, no,
no, it's okay. It was frozen on my side. Okay. Students coming.
No, the students will move, then I know. It's okay. Translators can remain calm, meditative. If they don't fall asleep, that's fine. Om Namah Shivaya. Good evening and welcome. Glad to see you connecting back to our Hatha Yoga session. Right? Hope connection will hold. If it goes, then Swami Satyananda will just bridge the situation from Vienna, and then we go back here from India. India is a land of prayers, so also we pray for good internet connection. In the meantime, let us start with relaxation. Before that, a few words. But before that, let's connect to the translations. You have die deutsche Übersetzung mit Daya Devi, traducción española preparada con Nada Priya. Vous avez la traduction française avec Ishvari. Please try it out. So tonight, we want to connect during the practice as much as possible to the solar plexus. At the risk of repeating information, the solar plexus also is called celiac plexus. That is the medical word, celiac. Maybe somebody, translators, can type it, celiac plexus, and you can also type it in your own language, celiac plexus. That is the medical word, because we all like to Google things. You need to have the right word, celiac plexus, to find the proper information about what actually is also called solar plexus. So at the level of the stomach, behind your stomach, it's actually closer to your back than to your front. It lies on the inside of the spine, not directly on the spine, because there between the spine and the solar plexus is your aorta, the abdominal aorta, the biggest blood vessel of the body, which comes from the heart downwards. A huge artery. So it is often the case that this solar plexus, which is highly sensory, making you feel this whole abdominal area. It often happens that we start to feel the pulse from deep behind our stomach, the pulse of our heartbeat. That is very logical, because this network of nerves, the solar plexus, lies right on top of the aorta. The solar plexus is not only sensory, makes you feel the body from the abdomen towards every part of the body. That is one aspect which we appreciate a lot in asana and pranayama practice. By simply focusing on abdominal breathing, we can expand body awareness. But there are two even more important functions. That is, this involuntary, supposedly involuntary plexus is part of the sympathetic nervous system, that aspect which arouses energy in our body, makes us active and energetic. It is part of that sympathetic nervous system and also of the parasympathetic nervous system, specifically through what is called the vagus nerve, which is like a vagabond. That is the translation of vagus. It wanders long through the body and also goes through the solar plexus. The solar plexus then, through the vagus nerve, can have parasympathetic control in the body. It means it can create rest and regeneration. The only change we need to accomplish in our head is that what is considered involuntary here a nerve plexus, which is involuntary, according to yoga, is not involuntary because it is directly connected with your respiratory nerve called the phrenic nerve. Again, if you can have the words in the different languages, the phrenic nerve is the nerve which creates movement in your diaphragm, which makes you breathe. Simply put, practice abdominal breathing, which is diaphragmatic breathing. Become aware of your body, and through that sensory awareness, you will discover the possibility to create more energy in your body and through the body in your mind, and to create more rest and relaxation in your body and through the body in your mind. So we will focus a lot on abdominal breathing, first in the asanas, then in some short pranayama session, and then in one big pack, so to say, we will discuss today the stress hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol. The big difference in this topic today is that these hormones are not taken through medicine. Nobody takes adrenaline in form of pills. Nobody takes noradrenaline or cortisol in form of pills. It is a purely internal body mechanism. And therefore, our discussion is slightly different in the orientation today. So, but now let's tune to practice. Please go on your back and lie down in Shavasana, and please have your hands on the abdomen, fingers spread apart so they cover nicely the whole abdomen. Maybe your thumb reaches the lowest rib, and the small finger comes close to your hip bones. Somehow this sensory aspect of abdominal breathing, which comes from your solar plexus, from behind your stomach, is felt much easier if there is a resistance to the abdominal movement, which is simply the weight of your hands. Please just systematically now count your breath. Please everybody lie down, hands on the abdomen. Inhale to the count of 5 seconds. And exhale to the count of 5 seconds. The inhalation is felt in a certain way, and the exhalation also. There is a difference between how the inhalation feels and how the exhalation feels. In that difference lies the dynamics of balancing sympathetic nervous system, arousal of energy, stimulating energy, and to tune to parasympathetic impulses, which is calming and regenerating. Probably you will feel it this way. The inhalation gives more energy. Abdomen goes out. The exhalation is more calming. Abdomen comes down. The reactivity of your nervous system will improve tremendously through asana and pranayama. So we will focus again and again on this simple situation. Shavasana, hands on the abdomen, stimulating sensory awareness, sympathetic stimulation, parasympathetic relaxation. continue for 1 minute. Now we stretch the arms back and slowly prepare our sitting pose. Prepare just for the chanting part. After that, we will continue right on with our asanas. As chanting, by definition, is slowing down the exhalation, it is parasympathetic, relaxing. And no wonder that after some time we should chant a lot, which is not what we do here, but when you are in the kirtan or any other kind of singing, it becomes very energizing simply because you're relaxing so much. You don't waste energy in form of unnecessary tension, and then energy is there. Life is energy. Energy is life. Feeling tired is just a state of imbalance. Never doubt the existence of prana or energy. Gujananam bhutaganaati sevitam kabittajambu phalasaravakshitam Umasutam shogavinashakaranam namami Vigneshwara parapangajam Shadananam gumgumaraktabaranam Mahamatim divyamayuravahanam Rudrasya sunam surasainyanatam Guham sadaham sharanam pravadye Ya kundendur sharaharatabala Ya shubhravastravrita Ya Vinavararenda Mandita Kara Ya Shveda Padmasana Ya Brahmachuta Shankara Pravrittidir Devai Sada Pujita Samam Padu Saraswati Bhagavati Nishesha Jadyapaha Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murthaye Nishprabhanjaya Shantaya Shri Shivanandaya Te Namah Shri Vishnudevanandaya Te Namah Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvatya Sadike Sharanye Trayambage Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, let's get ready for Surya Namaskar. Please stand up and maybe open a window in your place and we prepare. Okay, so in the standing pose, arms hanging loose, feet together comfortably, don't have to touch each other, but shouldn't be apart. Hands together, exhale. 2, inhale, stretch up, slightly back. 3, exhale forward and down. 4, inhale, bring the right leg back, the eyes are up. Bring the other leg back. You hold the breath firmly. Exhale, lower knees, chest, forehead to the floor. Inhale, stretch forward and come up. Exhale, lift the hips up, push the heels to the floor. Inhale, big step forward with the right leg. The eyes are up. Exhale, both legs straight, head to knee. 11, breathe in, stretch up, arms to the ears as you go back. And 12, release. Deep inhalation. 1, exhale. 2, inhale, stretch up, look up, go back. Exhale, stretch down, have the head to the knees. Inhale, bring the left leg back, knee on the floor, eyes up. Bring the other leg back, firm holding. Exhale, lower knees, chest and forehead. 7, cobra up. Exhale, hips up. Inhale, big step forward. Exhale, head to knee. 11, breathe in, stretch up, go back. And stand still. Surya Namaskar seems to refer to the sun. We prostrate to the sun. We open up to the sun. But also our celiac plexus is called solar plexus. So how can there be a connection? When you go back, there is an effort to reach that position, and it goes parallel with the effort of inhaling. And when both are finished, the inhalation and the back bending, when we start to release the movement, we also start to release the breath. This parallel movement of effort and release in the skeletal muscles and the respiratory muscles has a powerful effect on the whole nervous system, especially also how you feel your body. So breathe deeply, and let's focus on the transition between inhale and releasing it. Exhale. 1, exhale. 2, stretch up, go back. Exhale, release, forward and down. Inhale deeply, one leg back. Bring the other leg back, retain. Exhale, lower knees, chest, forehead. Inhale, cobra up. Exhale, hips up, head towards the floor. Inhale, big step with the right leg forward, the eyes are up. Exhale, both legs together, bend down. And 11, inhale, stretch up, arms to the ears, look to the hands, and release the pose, release the breath. Inhale deeply. 1, exhale. 2, inhale, up and back. 3, exhale, down, release. Inhale, open left side. 5, retain. Exhale, releasing breath and effort. Inhale, cobra up, effort. Exhale, release the effort. Inhale, big step forward, look up. Exhale, release the effort. Inhale, up and back. And release. So we are used to effort with inhalation and releasing effort with exhalation. But in the sun salute especially, you can also focus on effort at the end of an exhalation. For instance, when you come down, try to bend down more and more and more and more. You can bend your knees, no problem. You also try to really push the air out. That is your abdomen contracting. So at the end of a forward bend, there's an effort to come down physically. There's an effort to exhale, and that is released as you inhale. Same at the end of hips up position.
You push with the arms, you actively exhale with the abdominal muscles, and then the transition is a release. Let's focus on the transition
from exhale to inhale. 1, exhale. 2, inhale, up and back. Release, come down and really actively exhale. Release, inhale, one leg back, the other leg back. Hold. Exhale, lower knees, chest, forehead. Inhale, cobra. Release, exhale, hips up, and exhale strongly, pushing with the arms. Release, one leg forward, eyes up. Release, head to knee. Really exhale fully. And now release that exhalation. Inhale, up and back. And release. Like a pendulum, swinging in both directions. Also the breath is going. 1, exhaling a little faster. 2, up and back. 3, head to knee. 4, left leg back. 5, retain. 6, exhale, knees, chest, forehead. 7, forward and up. Exhale, hips up. Inhale, big step forward, eyes up. Exhale, head to knee. 11, inhale, stretch up, go back. Fully exhale, fully inhale. Hands together, exhale. 2, up and back. 3, forward and down. Right leg back. 5, retain. 6, exhale. 7, inhale. 8, exhale. 9, big step forward. Exhale, head to knee. 11, breathe in, stretch up, go back. And release. Last sun salute. Find the right rhythm where you feel the combination of effort in your breath, effort in the movement, release in your breath, release in the effort of the movement. Go ahead. One salute with the left leg. And then we are ready to rest on the back in Shavasana. Legs apart, both hands on the abdomen, like we did in the beginning, spreading the fingers apart. If it's not comfortable to breathe only in the abdomen, you can start with a few very deep breaths, abdomen and chest, until you get your oxygen back in the blood. Let us use the basic poses, which means poses that most of us know well. Each pose has its own typical resistance towards breathing, means making breathing not so easy, means you have to really want to breathe, you need to focus on breathing. just like having your hands on the abdomen is a very gentle resistance to breathing, each asana has its own resistance. So please slowly sit up. You want to just visualize a very special resistance in the inverted poses. So visualize your diaphragm like this. It is like an arch on top of your abdominal organs. When I go on my head, this arch will become a pot, which then needs to lift the whole contents of the abdominal space up. And there's a lot of organs and also a little extra fat. And all that needs to be lifted up. So while you're on the headstand, for a moment, visualize the diaphragm. It is now acting like a pot which holds. So expanding your abdomen requires a little more effort. From below, the diaphragm comes up and pushes the organs out. So go into your headstand. If headstand is not for you due to neck problems, eye pressure, high blood pressure, heart problems, neck problems, then you will do shoulder stand. In case both are not for you, for instance, on the main day of menstruation, you may not want to do that, then you can do the standing forward bend. Headstand, shoulder stand, or standing forward bend. You hold the pose with only focus on breathing. How? Actually, each asana stimulates the awareness of breathing, as it is a natural way to create a limitation to breathing, a resistance to breathing, and we try to move against that. Abdominal breathing. Now, already slowly, step by step, coming out of the pose, where the shoulders stand, forward bend, or headstand. Headstand in child pose, shoulders stand, people, arms around the knees. You did the standing back then have your hands against the lower back, go a little bit backwards. Okay, we're ready for Shavasana, again on your back, hands on top of the abdomen. Inhaling 5 seconds. Exhaling 5 seconds. Even if the effort of the pose was not in your abdomen, coming back to this easy abdominal breathing in Shavasana resolves most muscle tensions of the body automatically. Let's see how that works now. Everybody return to shoulder stand, or start your shoulder stand if you did the other pose before. Support your back. Here, the resistance to breathing is the inversion, as explained before. But also, as most of us are not completely straight in the pose, there is already a little forward bend pressure. Consciously inhale, expand the abdomen. And because there is a resistance to that inhalation, the exhalation will be felt more clearly. It is reducing the effort to inhale. It is reducing the effort to go against the resistance of the asana. Slowly come down to plow pose. Whichever variation is for you. Easy pose, legs apart, catch your feet. Basic pose, legs one side, arms on the other side. An advanced variation, knees next to your ears, arms over the inside of your knees. Right hand catching right ear, left hand catching left ear. Once you have chosen a pose, you will clearly feel how you have to adjust your breathing now. 5 seconds inhalation. 5 seconds exhalation. Instead of feeling it as an unpleasant resistance, try to tune to it as a friend, as something that makes you aware. The potential to create energy is to go against that resistance as we inhale. It stimulates energy. And the exhalation is so relaxing, as there is already a little pressure on your abdomen, which corresponds to exhalation. Count your breaths. Everybody bring the arms to the floor behind your back. Everybody stretch your legs and exhale, roll down vertebra by vertebra. Then legs bent, arms around the knees. For some people, this is very necessary. For others, maybe not. Once your lower back is relaxed, it's easier to feel the solar plexus. Legs and arms apart, hands spread out over your abdomen. Rhythmical breathing. Fish pose. Let's do the basic pose so it's easy to go in. Arms are under the body, hands close down to the thighs, pushing on the elbows, sliding forward, chest up, head going back, and slowly going down with your pose until the head is on the floor. Expand the breath in the abdomen against the stretched abdominal muscles. That is your resistance here. And that is how we create energy. Inhale, go against that stretched abdominal muscle. Exhale, let go of that effort. Inhaling is already an effort by itself, but in the asana it becomes much deeper due to the natural resistance coming from the pose. Just like when you do alternate breathing, you create resistance to the breath by closing one nostril. You're doing such a thing in a way with every asana, except Shavasana. Okay, so now we come down slowly. You can move forward a little bit in the pose. It pushes your chest up, makes the neck free. Lift the head a little bit and slide down. Slowly bring your hands under the head and slowly pull the head up. Turn it to the right. Gently turn it to the left. Still up. Head to the middle and slowly down. Open the pose. Hands on the abdomen. I leave you to your own easy, free breathing. Try to go into that count of 5 seconds for 1 minute. Have your hands on the abdomen, even if it's unusual. It can help you to really connect to the presence of the solar plexus behind your stomach. Stretch the arms back, slowly come to the sitting pose. And we get ready for a little variation. First, we do butterfly, feet close, chest straight, knees down, up and down. So for some people, the knees are already down. That means you try to sit on your feet. In my case, it's not exactly what I need, but you can see what it means. Then we relax the legs. Creating pressure against the tummy is a topic today. So now we have prepared our hips. If you want to try half lotus, bring your left foot close, knee bend, and over. The more you pull that heel up towards your hip, the more it acts as additional pressure on the abdomen in the forward bend. So you can only practice this half lotus. If your knee is coming up too high with the half lotus, if it's like this, you must not do that. If you create pressure on the inner meniscus, then it means foot has to be on the side. You still get good pressure here. Everybody in the half forward bend, holding it for a minute. Simply focus on the abdominal movement through breathing. If you just stay in the sensations of your abdomen and how it gets balanced, inhaling, stimulating energy, exhaling, stimulating relaxation from your abdomen, your whole body will get it, will connect to it. Because through the active, conscious abdominal breathing, we are connecting to the involuntary nervous system here through the solar plexus. Inhale up, arms down. If you are in the half lotus pose, then please try the counter pose in half lotus, hips up. Otherwise, just practice it with both legs straight. Hips up, head back. Take a couple of deep breaths. Fully release. Now we bring the right foot close, knee bend, then over, heel close to us. Maybe pull your tummy a little out from there, heel forward, inhale, arms up, and forward. In a way, those who have a little extra in the tummy, they get this effect quicker. You see, you never know what's good for you. Okay, keep breathing in the pose. Feel your abdomen. It is surprising how just focusing on that breath automatically adjusts you to all the other mechanical aspects of the pose. Whereas if you only try to focus on the mechanical aspects of joints and legs, muscle stretch, muscle contraction, and do not focus on the breath, it always remains separate aspects, not coming together. Count the breath. Feel the abdomen. Lovely. Inhale up. Exhale, release to the counter pose with the half lotus or with both legs, arms behind you. Breathing from the hips up, head back. Enjoy the push on the arms, strengthening your arms. Breathe deeply. You do your own weightlifting, lifting literally your own body weight. Slowly down. Relax on the abdomen, pillow with the hands, head to the side. Heels to the side, toes touching in the middle. No need to put the hands on the tummy because there is natural, complete connection of your whole abdomen with the floor. Ideal for what is our topic today. Literally pushing your body away from the floor as you inhale, abdomen pushing against the floor. And just as this is happening gradually, also the exhalation is releasing that gradually. Literally, physically, the body goes up as you inhale, tummy pushing into the floor. And physically, the body sinks down as you exhale. This action of breathing against the floor and your whole body therefore moving up and down, you can feel it in the bow pose. This requires tremendous effort because you cannot have more resistance than that, like in the bow pose. But it's worth trying. So please catch your ankles, bend your knees apart, forward on the floor. And bow pose, Dhanurasana. Inhale, feet up, head up, eyes up, breathing rhythmically. The effort is not only pushing your feet up or lifting your head. The effort is to really breathe into the abdomen and see whether your whole body is moving away from the floor, like inflating a pillow under your body and then slowly sinking down as you exhale. You're still in the pose. Breathing, breathing. All right, slowly release. Pillow with the hands, head to the other side. Now, stretching back into child pose. And to use every aspect of asanas to increase the pressure on the tummy, we place fists. You can sit up for a moment. Fist, left and right side of your belly button. Lift the chest. And exhale, go forward and down. Head to the floor as much as you can. Breathing is not so deep, but massage is very clear. If it's not so pleasant, please sit up again and release the arms next to your body and do your normal child pose. let us try to hold the triangle pose to end. Coming up. Here the resistance is not so much the pressure against the tummy, it is the effort in the pose. So arm goes up, left arm up, slowly. Sorry, it's your left arm up, slowly moving over. A little confused today. It's your right arm up, moving over the left side. Please bend over to the left side and hold your pose. You're doing the triangle over to the left side. Breathing is quite free, but there is effort in the pose. So you need to provide energy, inhaling. And you cannot really fully relax, but you can relax some parts. Maybe you can relax at your left shoulder, your face. You need to keep the breath really deep, provide energy to the pose. Lovely. Inhale, come on, high. Exhale, release the arm. Clearly relax that right shoulder. Change the foot position, right foot out, left foot slightly in. Bring the arm up, stretching high. And over and down to the right side. Provide energy to the pose by inhaling deeply in the abdomen. Up high. Exhale, release. Ending with our very clear and practical position to really release shoulders and neck. Very important to be done daily in between your activities also. So many advantages. Little leg stretch, taking away pressure from the lower back, relaxing shoulders and neck. Let the weight of the arms relax your shoulders. Let the weight of your head relax the neck. Slowly coming up and getting ready for the first deeper relaxation, after which we'll do a little pranayama. You may cover your body. You don't need to have the hands on the tummy, because we are mostly trained to feel relaxed with the arms to the side. If you would like to try, you can put a pillow, the pillow on which you normally sit in your sitting pose, put that on top of your abdomen, or a book. So that presence of a little weight on your abdomen is what we want to feel today. We wait for 1 full minute, simply waiting. I'm not saying for what we are waiting, because thinking of what we're waiting for will already create tension. We're just waiting. So what we were waiting for is that you lost control over your breathing. This is what we were waiting for. It's good to step out of that constant control of your breath so that the natural respiratory control, which comes from the lower part of your brain, can just happen again. And let's continue with that. You're just watching your breath. And as you're watching your breath, you can watch a natural phenomena. Inhaling brings energy by itself. Exhaling takes tension out by itself. It's really like a wave motion, not just in the movement of your abdomen. It's a wave motion in the nervous system, which now is projected into the body parts, relaxing my feet and legs. I'm relaxing my feet and my legs. My feet and my legs are relaxed. Relaxing the pelvis and the lower back. Let the natural flow of the breath with its own energy flow connect. Pelvis and lower back are relaxed. Abdomen and chest are relaxed. Hands and arms are relaxed. Shoulders and neck are relaxed. Mouth and cheeks are relaxed. Nose and eyes are relaxed. Forehead and the scalp, skin of the head are relaxed. My abdominal organs are relaxed. Heart and lungs are relaxed. Brain and nervous system are relaxed. Remain the observer of gravity. It's like a constant companion supporting you, carrying you. And be the observer of the respiratory impulse, which constantly renews itself. Breathing is life. The breath renews itself all the time. Life renews itself all the time. Through these physical sensations, gravity and the impulse of breathing, we can connect to mental peace. We are completely taken care of. Life is supporting us, has been supporting us, will support us. Rest and relax. Now, slowly stretching your arms over your head, activating your body awareness again, and slowly coming to the sitting pose. Use your pillow or the sitting asana. So hopefully some actual experience has come to you through this abdominal breathing, sensory awareness, activation of energy, calming your nervous system. All three in one. Through the practice of pranayama, we can deepen that effect a lot, specifically through holding our breath. And that needs to be explained for a moment, why that breath holding increases the awareness of the solar plexus, sensory, sympathetic, parasympathetic. First of all, we are not used to have a voluntary control over a nerve plexus, which is actually part of the involuntary nervous system. And so there is always some more sensory awareness to be developed. Each time we practice, it is developed. But there is kind of the resistance of unconscious habit that literally need to push through. The habit of running too high on adrenaline, which we'll see today, is actually the habit to run too much on your sympathetic nervous system. So that you need to push through that we can get out of that. What we call the grounding experience, the relaxing experience. Then, on the contrary, we may not be used to generating energy simply from breathing, because it's not in our habit, because the solar plexus is part of the involuntary nervous system. So we need to push through it. Now, how does retention help? When you inhale, you get an impulse to do that. Your diaphragm goes down, abdomen out, lungs fill, Inhalation is the effort in breathing, well known. Like any muscle work, requires motor impulse for the muscle to contract and the movement to happen. Same thing happens with your diaphragm. Now, if I keep my arm up, have I parked my arm? The motor impulses have stopped. If the motor impulses would stop, I would know very quickly. My arm would fall. The muscle contraction continues only because the impulse continues to stimulate the muscle. So what happens when you hold your breath? You have inhaled, diaphragm down, tummy out. This situation only remains, just like your arm remains lifted and the muscle contracted, only remains, your inhalation only remains because respiratory impulses continue to flow to your diaphragm. And these impulses also connect to your solar plexus. Therefore, retention is activating your solar plexus. Now you can focus on what you like to focus more when you hold the breath. I want more sensory expansion from here, feeling so many parts of my body expanding. I want to calm down. I want to ground myself. You can focus on that when you hold your breath. I want to feel life again. I want to renew my energies, regenerate, stimulate prana. You can focus on that because the solar plexus has all three aspects. The breath holding keeps the phrenic nerve active and constantly influences the solar plexus. That's why retention is so powerful as a tool to take charge of your involuntary nervous system through the solar plexus. So ready for Kapalabhati. Inhale and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Exhale. Inhale fully. Exhale slowly. Inhale to the maximum. Release the breath slowly. Sitting straight. Inhale, abdomen out, chest out. Hold the breath. Focus on the area behind your stomach. Thirty seconds and exhale. Second round, just preparing that retention experience. Inhale, begin. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Exhale. Deeply inhale and exhale 2 times until you really feel comfortable with breathing deeply, so that the deep inhale position, which is retention, feels good. Inhaling when you're ready, holding your breath. Keep the activation of your solar plexus through retention. Warmth, sensitivity, magnetism in your abdominal area. Exhale. Just like we were lying down and had the hands on the abdomen, creating resistance. Now the resistance is by closing a nostril. Anulom Vilom. Close the right nostril. Exhale to the left. Just do the count of 4 and then later of 5. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. Say left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you feel the retention is restful, that is because you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. You feel the retention is like recharging a battery. It's because you're stimulating your sympathetic nervous system. Exhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left 1 up to 5, 3, 4, 5. Hold. If you feel the retention is an expansion of body awareness from feet to head, it's because you're stimulating the sensory aspect of your solar plexus. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain. Exhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And ending on the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. As part of the discipline of pranayama, need to relax now. In Shavasana, if needed, arms around the knees. It's not just the comfort of the lower back, it's not being tense in the lower back. Because a tense lower back makes it difficult to feel the solar plexus. Then we let go of legs and arms in Shavasana. And just waiting. admitting that the natural respiratory impulses are again flowing from your brain. That is, it's not you doing the breathing. The breath is just happening by itself. The active control that pranayama is all about is coming to its completion when we again consciously feel the involuntary respiratory movement. Consciously feel something which is coming unconsciously. In this case, breathing just happens. And that is when we expand a little bit beyond the individual aspect. Not I am controlling the breath, but breath is an expression of life, universal life energy. Let the breath flow. Body, moving the body again, coming to your sitting position. So now comes our study part. Hope you have received by email the various files. We have them combined in one as a download in all 4 languages, a pretty long document, which you can download from the chat if you like. But you have it by email, hopefully. The solar plexus part is a topic which you have studied in this course format already at least once. And we have no time to really go through that file about the solar plexus, but the running commentary about how there is a respiratory nerve acting on the solar plexus is presented in graphic, like in drawings, and with a few words of explanation: sensory, parasympathetic, sympathetic. You will recognize it when you look at it. We want to study today the 3 hormones: adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol. So they are hormones produced in the suprarenal gland, like little caps sitting on top of your kidneys. There is a stimulation of these hormones through hormones. These are called messenger hormones, coming from your pituitary gland in the brain. This astonishing gland in the brain, which we'll study towards the end of our 7 sessions, produces a whole variety of hormones, which are called messenger hormones. They are chemical messengers stimulating just a specific endocrine gland. And so there is a messenger hormone for these suprarenal glands. But at the same time, in the case of the suprarenal glands, the stimulation comes through direct nervous impulse. And if you look at any drawing of the nervous system in relation to the glands, you see that these specific nerves which stimulate your suprarenal glands come from the solar plexus. The solar plexus is connected to your suprarenal glands. So the way your apparently involuntary activity in your solar plexus works, that has an effect on the suprarenal glands. And through pranayama, through conscious breathing, through breath holding, we start to have an influence on the production of hormones from your suprarenal glands. And now we just read a little bit about this. Hormones, adrenaline, it pushes, it makes us euphoric, and it makes us take risks. It really activates. Noradrenaline is similar to adrenaline in its effect. In the English translation, it came out as norepinephrine, but it is also called noradrenaline, very similar to adrenaline in its effects. These are hormones from these suprarenal glands. More known as a stress hormone is cortisol. It gets very active during work, but all kinds of stress situations, family stress, psychological stress. It fell out of the meeting, I can't believe it. Or, no, I'm still there. Okay, I'm back. Good. So, cortisol, stress hormone, active during work, family, and psychological stress, and during physical exertion, illness, and injury. So it is positive, not negative at all, and very important for life in all aspects. The problem is that through an imbalance of sympathetic and parasympathetic impulses, we have this stress situation. Even though we are threatened in our physical survival, which normally is the way to arouse stress, it is the psychological pressure through the speed of life and artificial communication, which puts so much stress on our mind, through that on the nervous system, and through the nervous system, it constantly creates overreaction in your suprarenal glands. Too much adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol. Instead of trying to reduce that, it is enough if you start to activate the contrary. See, sympathetic impulses are one thing. Parasympathetic impulses, impulses of rest and generation, are something else. Most people do not know how to stimulate parasympathetic activity, to actively calm your nervous system. And this is exactly what yoga does. Yoga creates such a parasympathetic reserve that after a good yoga session, the stress factors from your environment may still be the same. The internal stress factors, which create emotional reactions, fear, anxiety, or today we'll speak about anger, irritability, they're still the same. They actually work and try to stimulate your sympathetic response, stress response, but you have such a parasympathetic reserve that your system still simply doesn't react to that. Your heartbeat, for instance, slows down due to parasympathetic nervous impulses coming there. Your heartbeat gets faster and stronger through sympathetic. Now, maybe you get plenty of sympathetic stimulation through stress, but there is such a generous stimulation of parasympathetic also that your heart says, hey, which one is it now? And it says, okay, you are stronger on this side. Parasympathetic is simply stronger. This is why after a good yoga session, the usual stress factors of your life do not affect you as much. And this is the wonder of yoga practice. we cannot say, I don't think it's the right explanation to say that yoga, asanas, and pranayama and relaxation reduce the production directly of adrenaline and the other cortisol and so on. It is through the activation of parasympathetic activity. Medical doctors will tell you if you have too much stress, too much sympathetic arousal, so on, these are the words, do sports, run a lot, do competitive sport, which it kind of works out this whole overactivating hormones, adrenaline. It works. You feel more relaxed, more calm afterwards. But what it does not do, none of the so-called sport exercises do, they don't activate parasympathetic impulses. We have a little workout situation. You can have an ongoing flow, a sequence of asanas. You can do lots of sun salutes, etc., which is a kind of a workout. So it lowers, it kind of naturally expresses the accumulated sympathetic impulses, but also through the balance of posture, breathing, and relaxation, we are activating parasympathetic impulses. Without this, all sport activity will just help you for a moment, but your hypersensitivity to stress will not be improved because you're not building up parasympathetic reserve. I hope this is not using too much unknown vocabulary, but it's good to use it sometimes to see. In the meantime, yoga works anyway. And we want to become more precise. We are not in the same topic than the last two sessions where we were discussing how outer drugs correspond actually to inner drugs, which means hormones. We saw endorphin, that means the endovalium, the calming effect, and also the inner painkillers. We saw that. But today we are with something which is purely generated inside the body, the adrenaline. Now we read a little bit from our text here. Stress management with yoga and breathing exercises. This is about some scientific research. Cortisol has been measured in scientific studies. Where is it measured? In your blood. People who regularly did breathing exercises or practiced yoga, means asanas, had better cortisol levels, more balanced. And this also has an effect on blood sugar. Blood sugar levels were lower in the morning and more stable sugar levels were measured after meals. So this is an effect which science observes and says, hey, it looks like yoga works, but how it works, it's not known. Yoga masters like Swami Vishnudevanand would constantly say, your solar plexus is like a battery. You can recharge. It's like a battery, like a battery. If you analyze it as the celiac plexus, the word we use today, you can see that there is like a mini computer there. Sensory, sympathetic, parasympathetic. There is reasons why it works. This practice of posture, breathing, and relaxation. But now let's go more slowly from the physiological aspect of adrenaline to the psychological. Adrenaline and hyperactivity. Strong stimulation of stress hormones provides an energy high. In fact, it is hyperactivity. When you're under the strong influence of adrenaline, you cannot just say, okay, I don't need to do this situation, it's been taken care of, let me relax. You cannot relax. You are literally flooded with adrenaline, and that is something that cannot just be stopped through an act of will. So this is called then hyperactivity. How do you recognize somebody who's hyperactive? Will never sit still, always move. Some people get the habit of constantly touching their face or their hair, body position constantly moving. here, this one. Eyelid movement, and then this one here. This throat movement, constantly swallowing, there's nothing to swallow, but just reflex actions. You can see it even when you teach a yoga class. Look at students. If you see eyelids moving when the eyes are closed, throat moving like swallowing, reflex, these are typical signs of too much sympathetic stimulation and therefore these reflexes. Prolonged hyperactivity wastes the body's energy resources. Hyperactivity can become obsessive, seeking sensation and excitement to stimulate the stress hormones. Obsessive, or like an addiction, because it's an energy high. Even if you cannot then get off from it, you have to live through it. At least there's some energy, right? And so we are looking for sensational situations. We like to talk about sensational, scandalous situations. We look for outer excitement to stimulate our stress hormones. And this is something well known in yoga psychology, the psychology of the three gunas. We go on page 2 of our outline today. Tamas, lethargic and depressed energy. Rajas, that hyperactive energy. Sattva, inner peace, calm nervous system. They're all good in their way. You know, Rajas really helps to overcome lethargy. And Sattva can calm the hyperactivity. According to the observation of the yogis, and please do your own observations, the predominant guna in human psychology is Rajas. The inner Rajas connects with the Rajas of the external world. The result is obsessive hyperactivity. So your inner mental disposition of being excited, of looking also for excitements, then finds the outer situation. One stimulates the other. You want to see something which stimulates you. So you go downtown to the pedestrian area and do window shopping. And the window shopping, I mean, just looking at the things, stimulates you in turn. Rajas meets Rajas. So you go into a department store because you want to buy a pencil, and you come out with 2 bags of things. It has worked. Your inner Rajas connected with the outer Rajas. Then comes a very, very stressful moment when you pay with a credit card and you already feel sorry that you bought all these useless things. So this is due to Rajas. There is a psychological disposition for it. And then we have some interesting psychological variations of this obsessive hyperactivity. How we constantly can create that activation of adrenaline. Which kind of psychological attitude will create this constant adrenaline push? Which obsessive psychological attitude? One is the psychology of an enemy. Your mind constantly looks out for a hostile situation, supposedly hostile. And when you found one, then you rub with it. You rub with it mentally, and then verbally, and maybe even in your physical behavior. Like, yeah, speaking mostly, hopefully not physically, but it can go to this effect. And that gives you the adrenaline push. And you think it's justified because you are seeing supposedly hostile situations. So it's easier to see in others maybe than in ourselves. If it's not that one, there's another one. The competitive mindset. I have to be better than others. So in the workout of sports, when it comes to competitive sport, even if it's just a game, you're not doing it on the professional level, but any kind of competitive sport where one is winning, somehow winning, you know, and the other one is losing. It is meant to relax you, the sport, but actually it can totally excite you more through this activation of adrenaline through the competitive mindset. This can become really habitual. And we may be programmed through education, family education, or just the educational system. Look at news. It's all about hostile situation or competitive situations. We must be better, and there has to be an enemy which we need to control or defend ourselves against. And this is something to observe in ourselves and try to step out of it. It can really help you to step out of unnecessary hormonal imbalance, which can have its own problems. Too much cortisol, it's the first page. It can break down the muscle mass, it decomposes your muscles, so to say. It increases the tendency for osteoporosis. It increases body fat. People are constantly under stress. It's not only because they eat too much as an emotional outlet of stress. The stress itself increases body fat. High blood pressure, diabetes, and actually depression. So it's not a good thing at all to constantly be in these two mindsets. The hostile situation, which is not actually hostile, doesn't need to be hostile, and the competitive mindset. So finally, yoga, meditation, and the gunas, balancing the three gunas. The gunas can be seen as totally positive. Without tamas, I cannot sleep. Without rajas, without a little adrenal push, I cannot act. Without sattva, there is no inner peace. And what we saw before, becoming aware that my mind undergoes these gunas, it has the sattvic balancing mode, it has the active extrovert mode, and it has the low energy mode. My mind has that, and there is an interaction with the world where these three situations also exist. Low energy situations, very hyperactive situations, and very peaceful situations, and the interaction is happening constantly. I cannot try to avoid these fluctuations. This is the attitude of the yogis. You cannot avoid the constant change of gunas in your mind, nor in the outer situations. Become aware of it. And by becoming aware of it is the first possibility to step out of it by taking the attitude of an observer. I'm the witness of the play of the gunas. This is how it is called. And this can all have direct influence over the production of the stress hormones. So these were just hopefully some practical tools besides the information that we shared. So any questions, please feel free to put it into the chat. In the meantime, I will read some very nice comments received just today from the experiences that one person has from the practice. They're all good. The question here was, are they valid? Whether you you don't need outer confirmation of validity if you have a positive improvement of your life quality, whether it is mental or physical. If that can be repeated and it works again and again, and you slowly find the parameters, it means the cause and effect, how it works, and you apply it and it works, that is your confirmation. But just to show you how diverse it maybe is very different from you personally. So I discovered that even more important than breathing awareness is being aware of the heartbeat and feeling the movement of blood in the arteries and veins, all the way into the fingertips, for example. I feel that I myself am completely part of the rhythm of my heart, which is not a voluntary function. And only then I submit or I surrender to the rhythm of breathing. And so then to what we have discussed already, the person is writing how the body sensations are different according to the kind of calming effect of hormones or the pain relieving effect of hormones through breathing and just observing his own heartbeat. Very interesting. And again, the question in the email was, is it valid? The validity comes from the experimental attitude. You see imbalance, you practice something which you think is balancing, and you observe whether it is balancing. And as this very clearly describes that it is balancing, yes, very wonderful. Please keep up your practice. See whether there's a chat coming in. Oh, we just got the combined PDF download again. That is the news. Any other news from you? Any question? I know we gone overtime a little bit, but you know, it could be a moment. Then otherwise, feel free to write an email, ask questions. I have news. Unfortunately, we need to change the next session to Wednesday, 29th. Because of travel, I cannot assure to be ready on the 28th. So for maybe some of you, it's not right. Then you will have to use the video link, which we'll try to send specially quickly then of the next session. So our next session is Wednesday, 29th. Until then, avoid unnecessarily hostile attitudes to situations which may actually be neutral. Don't get drawn into this general competitive mindset. Life give a chance to everybody at the right time. If you are driving a car and there's a crossroad, you are being blocked by red light. But that means that the other party is being unblocked to flow. And then at the right time, they have the red light, and then it's you for the green light. So there cannot be success without failure in this universe, in this world, in our own mindset. Also starting to accept what is called pairs of opposites. If we don't accept them, we are actually in a very unrealistic situation. It's like somebody saying, I want to go through the whole city and only have green light. That is not a sound philosophical attitude, because what is for me is also for others. So we are a combined organism which can live in harmony if we accept that sometimes I have success, sometimes I have failure. And there are other pairs of opposites we can discuss some other time. We're a little overtime already. Thank you for connecting. I thank our dear Nada Priya, Dayan Devi, Ishwari for translating, and always Swami Satyananda for hosting us. So be well, and maybe we meet on either Saturday or Sunday for the Fire of Yoga. And otherwise, Wednesday, 29th at 6 o'clock. Let's take the time to do the whole mantra chanting. It's worth to connect to peace through mantra chanting. Trayambagam yajamai sugandhim pushtivartanam ulvarukamiva vandanam mrityor mokshiyamamrita. Om Trayambagam yajamai sugandhim pushtivartanam ulvarukamiva vandanam mrityor mokshiyamamrita. Om Trayambagam yajamai sugandhim pushtivartanam ulvarukamiva vandanam mrityor mokshiyamamrita. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, sarve bhavantu sukhino, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani paschantu ma kaschid dukha bhavet, asato ma satkamaya, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityo ma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. बोलो सतगुरु शिवानंद महाराज की जय, विष्णु देवानंद महाराज की जय. See you soon. Om Namah Shivaya.